This is LOA Recon with Good Vibe Coach Jeanette Ma, where we explore the ins and outs of conscious creation to manifest our favorite dreams come true. Let's have some fun together. Welcome and thank you for joining me for another episode. I wanted to share with you today about the story of how I celebrated early for no apparent reason, and then the reasons started appearing. It starts here. I've got an LED board that my boyfriend gave me for Christmas, I want to say year before last, which was a super cool present because he knows I love whiteboards. But this is even better. I had never seen one before, or if I did, it didn't register that I could be using one myself in my alignment practice. Because what it is it's transparent. So when you turn it on, after you write on it with your colored markers, it looks like a neon sign. Like the colors are so much more vibrant than on a regular whiteboard. It's super, super cool. And it's got different settings, so the colors can change as you toggle through. In fact, there's one setting that'll rotate. I don't know, it's like 7 different options. It's like literally flashing neon bright colors. It's so vibrant, so compelling. It grabs my attention in a way that sticky notes and post-it affirmations don't. And you know the power of exposing yourself repeatedly to a message, right? I mean, that's the whole basis of the advertising industry. Billboards, commercials, pop-up ads, direct mail, even all that stuff can act as psychological triggers that drive our purchasing decisions. I just read that it's $1 trillion industry as of 2026. Oh, they don't spend all that money because it doesn't work, y'all. It works. Of course, conscious creators know that. We understand the power of a repeated message. It's why we're so diligent about which messages we're repeating to ourselves. It's why we upgrade our self-talk and why we speak our uplifting affirmations. And it's why we do our best to focus on what we want rather than what we don't want. We're not new to the power of thoughts. So that's why, with my super cool LED board that I can put any message on, I decided that the message I wanted to repeat in my head, the psychological trigger I wanted embedded in there, not to drive a purchasing decision, but to activate a specific vibration, was the celebration vibe. That's what I wanted to activate. What would I say when something fabulous had just happened in my world? I wanted it in my own words so that it sounded like me. And I used something along the lines of, I know it starts with, cue the confetti. It's happening. Woohoo! This is amazing. Congrats, girl. And it had a lot of exclamation points and stars and hearts and big smiley faces. Had some capital letters in there for woohoo. And I turn that sign on every morning and turn it off every night because I like it dark at night. I don't need any lights on that don't need to be. But I think that consciously turning it on, seeing those words illuminate, and it isn't just when I turn it on, it's always there in the background, just like a billboard does. It's not exactly an affirmation, but those words set a tone of celebration for me, like something amazing had happened that was worth dancing about. Ooh, and I should add this. Speaking of dancing, I should add this other thing because it might also be contributing to what has unfolded. I had seen this on TikTok. Actually, I had an MFR, a myofascial release person, teach me this many, over a decade ago, but it never really stuck when he said it. But I saw those TikTokers jumping, just jump 50 times. It's good for your body. It's probably a lymphatic thing, right? At least that's what my MFR person said. Well, when I saw the TikTokers doing it, I was inspired to do it too. So when I've been sitting in my chair for a long time and my body wants a break, I'll just jump for 50 times. And maybe the first 6, 7, maybe even 10 times, I'm just jumping for the sake of jumping, but you keep doing it. Okay, I keep doing it. And pretty soon it turns into a dance. It turns into something that just feels delightful and fun. The dogs come running. They want to know what's going on. It just turns into a party. Okay, it's just so fun. It's a fun way to wake up my body after it's been sitting there for a while. So that might be part of it too. That reminds me a little bit of how Mike Dooley tells us to do fist pumps in the shower, as if you just received the best news ever, because this is a good way to activate the vibration of something amazing just happened. All right, so that jumping might have also had something to do with what happened next because, all right, I was just going to say believe it or not, but of course you'll believe it. This is how it works. Whatever we say, universe has to make it so. And with those words on my light board, that are activating that vibration and that physical action that's also making it feel like something really good has just happened. Before I knew it, all right, it wasn't actually that fast. It was not overnight. It probably wasn't even 2 weeks. It was more of a long, slow drip on this. It was an accumulated effect. Or maybe it just took me that long to notice. But eventually, some really fabulous things started happening. Although, even as I say that, I know those fabulous things were happening all along, but now I'm in a vibrational frequency to see them, to be present to them, instead of overlook them or misinterpret them or dismiss them altogether. I became more present to the magic and miracles that are happening in my everyday life. And once I started seeing them, it's like they just keep happening. It's like these little mini miracles are tripping over each other to get in front of me in all sorts of ways, in business, in relationships, in money, in my body. Just good news unfolding again and again and again. Like, I had a very motivated buyer reach out to see if I might be interested in selling a piece of property that I had just recently decided, maybe it's time to let this go. Oh, he shows up, hot and bothered to own it. Wow. I had a helper reach out offering to support me in something that I'd been wondering who could help me with this technology thing that I was fixing to dive in on. That actually happened in a couple of different ways. One of them was with social media. Another one was with AI. Perfect support in the perfect way at the perfect time from the perfect people. My local deli started carrying my favorite dessert. A new Asian restaurant opened up just 20 minutes away from me that's become my new favorite place to eat. My fridge stopped making that strange noise. 2 old friends who had always not really loved how things ended between us reached out to make amends. I found my favorite keyboard that had been discontinued by the manufacturer for sale, online, brand new. My peach trees bloomed. All my elderberries survived the winter. This is the first time that's ever happened. My chicken survived what I thought, actually what everyone told me, was a fatal condition. Oh, no, she's doing fine. My senior cat, who's one of my favorites because she's one of the few friendlies I have who loves lap time with me. Man, I was so certain we were looking at kidney failure. I've seen it so many times. I'm way too familiar with those symptoms. But guess what? It's not that. It's totally treatable. And in that process, I learned how to get fast appointments with my favorite vet, who's usually so far booked, like she's booked weeks in advance that I have to go to other vets. No, now I know how to get in with her. I watched a documentary that inspired me to start running. Y'all, I'm a runner now. I'm running my first 5K in June. I created that vibe checker tool that people still write me raving about it. That support that I've been wanting for our neighbor's water issue showed up. Oh, man, that was so cool. That neighbor's construction came to a complete halt. I don't know why, but it has been so quiet and peaceful out there this spring. Oh, and I made friends with a different neighbor. We rescued a pony together. Okay, rescue might be a little bit of a dramatic word, but that situation could have turned out very differently. It had a happy ending and we were both instrumental in that outcome. I could go on, and it's not like challenges aren't still here. There's still crappy stuff happening. Cats still throw up on the carpet. I still burn my grilled cheese sometimes. I still have more weeds in the garden than I know what to do with. But that stuff is faded to the background. It feels so minor because that's how much my attention is dominated with amazing things happening. Reasons to celebrate left, right, and center. I mean, it feels like my life is turning into a big yay. I'm watching the most amazing movies and hearing music that makes me know for sure that I live amongst angels, because I don't know how else you could explain what I am listening to, what they are creating. Oh my gosh. I practiced the yay and the woohoo, and it came true. Over and over and over again, it keeps doing it, and it'll keep doing it as long as I keep yaying and woohooing. That's why I wanted to share with you the power of being willing to celebrate in advance. Because when universe hears you woohooing, or feeling good in general, or being happy for no reason, it'll give you a reason. It's how it works. It'll match, in reality, whatever you're willing to bring to the vibrational party. And I'm not saying that there weren't days when I turned on that sign and felt a little, yeah, sure, whatever, at my celebration signals. But just like ads work, y'all, they spend that money for a reason. That continued, repeated exposure, even though it's subtle, even though you hardly notice it, it gets in there. It lodges, and it does its job. It goes to work. That's why it's worth giving yourself, embedding some message that will take you where you want to go, wherever that is. Maybe it's celebration, maybe it's appreciation, maybe it's peace or relaxing or satisfaction or fulfillment. And an LED board is just one way to do it. A jumping practice is not the only way to simulate good vibrations. You know what, though? We weren't just simulating. It activated. I guess that's what any good simulation does. It makes it feel like it's the real thing. Anyway, that's what I wanted you to consider. How can you take yourself in your mind vibrationally where you want your life to go? Whether that's something to be grateful for, a basis for relaxing, or a reason to celebrate, because universe will meet you wherever you're willing to go first. You've probably done this before, so you know what works for you. And maybe if your super thoughtful boyfriend had given it to you as a present, you'd feel more compelled or inspired to keep doing it. Or maybe if you listen to me raving about it, you'll feel the nudge to pick up an alignment method that works for you. It doesn't matter what your celebration or appreciation or peace trigger is. There isn't anything magic about my LED board other than I ordained it so, and I did. All I'm saying is, use your powers. You're a conscious creator. You harbor powers that are the envy of beings across the multiverse. Let's use those powers for whatever our idea of a good time is, right? Because life will give us whatever we're willing to keep saying or practicing or feeling. Oh, that's my idea of a good time. I hope it is yours too. Hope you got some inspiration from this. Thanks for listening and happy